So I got the call to be involved in this project sort of late March. I was very...
It was a long list of requirements. It was, we needed it to be controlled, the movement, the pixel map and the video map.
My first thought was I had to be involved in it. I couldn't say no matter what, because of how unique and how amazing it was. I got my laptop out, I had AI running on my laptop, Titan running on my laptop, Capture running on my laptop at the same time, all talking to each other just to show that it could be done. The major challenge for me was how to combine this video, the DMX side, the pad and the tilt, all together and make it flow into one. First thing I thought of was Avolites and their feature set Synergy. And I went from a T3 up to a D9 in a space of about a couple of days when we realised what was actually involved. The challenges of sort of getting all that together, getting enough processing power from the desks to control it.
And let's not forget time as well. You're actually looking at a lead time. When we sort of only found out mid-March, we only had about a month to sort of pull everything together. And obviously that was the same with the set contractors as well. There was lots of creative changes, lots of, you know, this won't fit, this has to fit through here. So everything was getting chopped and changed. So it was all, you know, coming together in the 11th hour, and we had a few days of pre-rehearsals down here where we laid everything out, programmed everything as best we could. But obviously it wasn't until we got up into Liverpool where we actually saw it all on stage and all came together on the night before the first rehearsal.
I think I first sort of started working on this on like the 6th of April. And the first time I came into Light Initiative's warehouse to see the fixture, I think me and Nathan were sat up in the office getting hit by it several times because we didn't know where to stand. We spent the day just sort of trying to figure out what it can do. Because they can run DMX, they've got ArtNet, they've got ArtNet and DMX combined. So I think in the end we went down the DMX route. Thinking about the challenges we had, it started sort of at the beginning and the 366 channels. We knew that with 43 of them, we needed 43 universes. There's not many desks out there that can easily handle 43 universes with just a desk. We looked at the Avolites D9 that can comfortably do 32 universes without any other processing. It's our only desk that can do that. To get the extra 16 universes, we needed a TitanNet processor. We also then needed a backup. So we had a backup TitanNet processor. It also meant that I could split the processing power between the D9. So for Eurovision, I had to turn on legacy mode. We had 6 minutes to get that structure on. Legacy mode basically sent DMX values continuously to that. So as soon as I plugged in our first Luminex node, they came on straight away. Then we needed the video side. So there was 2 sides to this whole project. There was the video side and then the DMX side. The DMX side were the kinetic ones, and the video side were Light Initiative's, the new static ones. There was 2 sides to that. So one needed a DVI or HDMI feed out of the AI server, and then the kinetic ones needed the NDI feed from AI into the D9, and that was the Synergy connection. And that was one of the most crucial parts to this whole project. So I had a rack at my front of house, which had 2 AI servers, main and a backup, 2 TMPs, which was the main and the backup, 2 Gigacore 10 switches linked together, 4 other Ethernets that came from front of house from Light Initiative's processors. That all went up to the back of the stage where it was coiled, and then the team at Eurovision also helped us get that out and get it. I then plugged that up while Phil was inside connecting everything. A lot of redundancies that we had to put in place to make sure that it went ahead no matter what. If the timecode failed, I could manually override it. If the processor failed, we had a backup processor. So it was just, we got how we're going to do this. But then as it went on, we realised we needed all the backups, and it started then getting more and more complicated as the more we looked into it.
As this was a new product as well, no one knew how they were going to move. When Sam was initially trying to program all the looks, no one quite knew what would work, what wouldn't work. We set a few up, did some looks, and sent some videos over to Dan, and he was like, oh, I like that, don't like that. So there's a lot of back and forth. We're trying to get together a few palettes and a few focus points.
It was all run via Qpilot, so all cameras, lighting, video, for myself, we were all basically going off of the time code. So that made time coding it for me really easy with camera shots. But I also had to be aware that it had to look really good in the audience because everybody's going to have their phones out. And if they changed the camera shots as well, like they did, then it had to match perfectly. I could stand on stage and see it all, and I was very happy with it. But then on the camera, it didn't look right. So I had to sort of find the fine balance between, do I do it from the camera shot or the audience? And you find that fine balance in between.
I think the beauty about using Avolites and using all the equipment is that it all came from the same manufacturer and it all interlinked like really well together, which I don't think we would have got if we tried to do it another way.
Because it's a moving product, it was designing the content in a way where when it moves, it still works. So the template just had 43 of the 120 pixel kinetic ones, and then 77 of the 72 pixel pixel tubes. Then within AI, the 1 meter pixel tubes were mapped and then sent to X and Y coordinates, so Light Initiative's servers could read those. And then within Titan, each of the kinetic products were mapped one-to-one to a 1920 by 1080 full scale, which even support at Avolites were like, we haven't seen this before. Normally people scale it, but I knew as soon as I scale it down, so it won't look right. So that's why I needed a desk powerful enough to basically open that 1920 by 1080 NDI feed within Titan.
The support that you've got and we've had with, you know, the kit and the expertise, the service has been excellent from Avolites.
Because I needed the mapping in AI and the mapping within Titan, having that connection between the AI and Titan and having synergy was just crucial.
We had such a small window to actually get this all sorted, locked in, how we were doing it, map made, content created, and then pre-programming and then on site. We could have maybe done it another way, but this was definitely, for me, seemed the most obvious way to go.
Having Avolites, their whole outlook is having the total control over anything you're doing. And for me, that is exactly what we needed. Full control over every single pixel, the processing power, and then new D9 was just a dream. It just handled everything so smoothly. Couldn't think of an easier way of doing it than using Synergy and Avolites. The support from Avolites has just been incredible. I basically took over their office for about 2 weeks, just took their training room. I think I ended up ripping it apart at one point to take the servers out. They allowed me to use their equipment, their support, just answering my stupid questions. On the Saturday, they were like, if you're midway through the show or you need anything, the phone is like on, I'm keeping it there. I had a support network behind me no matter what was going on.
Yeah, no, it was a real collaboration between Avolites, ourselves, Sam, Phil on site, the creative team at Eurovision, Dan and that. So, no, and Volt Packs. Everyone coming together has been really great on this project.
I would definitely 100% do this again. I've literally enjoyed every second of it. It pushed me to my limits of what we can all do, pushed the products to their limits, and even pushed all the Ava projects to their limits.
Definitely got to do it again because we'll get these out. So
They are for hire, so you can
yeah.
just contact Light Initiative.